Sometimes the greatest power you have is the power you don't use. Everybody thinks success comes from always talking, always proving yourself, always explaining your side of the story. But life has a funny way of rewarding the one who knows when to speak and when to keep quiet. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means you are letting the noise pass while you stay locked in on your mission. It means you don't waste your breath defending yourself to people who don't even want to understand you. It means you let your results speak. See, the seed doesn't make noise when it's growing underground. The diamond doesn't shout while it's forming in the dark. The sun doesn't make a speech before it rises. It just shows up and shines. That's the kind of power you get when you master the art of staying silent. When you talk too much, you give people clues about your plans. You give away your energy. You give haters the blueprint to destroy you. But when you keep your vision close to your chest, they can't touch it. They don't even know where to aim. In silence, you hear things others miss. You notice opportunities others overlook. You understand people better. You connect the dots in ways you couldn't if you were busy trying to be heard. And here's the truth. When you stay silent, life starts bringing the right people, the right moments, and the right blessings to you. Naturally, patience plus silence plus action equals a life that speaks louder than any words ever could. So learn to master the pause. Learn to sit in the quiet without panicking. Learn to let your work and your growth be your voice. The world doesn't need to hear everything you're thinking. It needs to see the proof of who you are. Silence protects your vision. There's a reason why precious things are hidden until they're ready. Diamonds are buried deep. Gold is locked away, and your vision, that's no different. The moment you start sharing your dreams too soon, you open the door for other people's opinions to creep in. Some will doubt you, some will laugh, and some will flat out try to stop you. Silence is the shield that keeps your vision safe from that noise. Your vision is like a seed. You don't plant it in the soil and immediately dig it up to show people the roots. You let it stay covered until it's strong enough to break through on its own. If you pull it out too soon, you kill it. That's exactly what happens when you share your plans with the wrong people. Before they've matured, you don't owe anyone a play of what you're building. You don't need to explain your every move. If somebody asks what you're working on, and you're not ready to share, smile and keep it light. Not everything needs an announcement. Some blessings are better unveiled than explained. The truth is, when you talk too much about what you're going to do, you waste energy that could have been used to actually do it. Your focus drifts from the work itself to people's reactions about the work. That's dangerous. Silence keeps you locked in on what matters. Execution, there are people who will pretend to be happy for you, but secretly hope you fail. If they know your plan, they'll look for ways to poke holes in it, delay it, or take it. Silence keeps them guessing, and when they can't guess, they can't interfere. It's not just about protecting your vision from enemies. It's about protecting it from doubt. Even well-meaning people can plant seeds of fear in your mind. They'll say, "Are you sure that's possible?" Or "That's risky." And once that doubt gets in, it can grow faster than your dream. Silence stops that seed before it's planted. Every big achievement starts in the dark. You don't see the construction of a skyscraper's foundation. It happens underground. You don't hear the painter's first brush strokes. It happens in the studio, in solitude. Your dream deserves that same privacy in its early stages. The more you keep to yourself, the more power you hold. You're not just hiding your plan. You're guarding your energy. You're making sure the people around you see the finished masterpiece, not the messy sketch. Because people don't always respect the process. They only celebrate the results. Silence gives you control over the narrative. If you share too much too soon, you give people the power to define your story before you've written it. When you keep it to yourself, you're the only one holding the pen. Think of every great innovator, every leader, every visionary. They didn't announce every move they made. They let their success do the talking. You can do the same. Let the reveal be the surprise that nobody saw coming. Silence also trains your discipline. It's not easy to keep exciting news to yourself, but learning to hold it in builds patience, and patience is the currency of success. If you can't hold your tongue, you won't be able to hold your future. When you protect your vision in silence, you give it the chance to grow roots before it faces storms. Because trust me, storms will come, but deep roots, they survive. And deep roots come from time spent in quiet protection. Your vision is too valuable to put on public display before it's ready. Guard it like it's gold, because in the right time it will shine like gold. And when that moment comes, the silence you kept will make the noise of your success even louder. It's not about hiding forever, it's about hiding until it's time. And when it's time, there won't be a need to explain yourself. The results will say everything for you, and they'll say it louder than you ever could. Noise distracts. Quiet focuses. Noise is everywhere. It's in the conversations around you, the opinions on your social media feed, the chatter of people who don't even know your story but feel the need to speak on it. And if you're not careful, all that noise will pull you away from your purpose before you even realize it. That's why quiet is so powerful. It's the space where you can see your path clearly. When there's too much noise, you can't hear your own voice. Your instincts get drowned out. Your ideas lose clarity. And before long, you're making moves based on someone else's vision instead of your own. Silence brings you back to center. It reminds you of why you started in the first place. Think about driving in heavy rain. The windshield gets blurry, the road gets hard to see. That's what noise does to your life. It clouds your vision. But when the rain stops and things get still, you can see every detail ahead. Quiet moments are like that. They let you see exactly where you're going and what's in the way. Sometimes the noise isn't even external, it's in your own head. Doubt, fear, insecurity. They're all loud if you let them be. But when you intentionally create silence, you give yourself room to breathe. And in that breathing space, you remember who you are and what you're capable of. You can't create great things if you're constantly reacting to everything around you. Creativity, progress, and strategy require focus. Focus comes from shutting out distractions, and shutting out distractions requires you to embrace quiet. Even if it feels uncomfortable at first, most people can't handle silence because it forces them to face themselves. But that's exactly why you need it. In silence, you confront your real priorities. You see where you've been wasting time. You see what really matters. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The world rewards the focused. Look at any major success story. It's built on periods of intense concentration. That kind of concentration doesn't happen in the middle of chaos. It happens in the quiet hours when nobody's watching, when the phone is down, when the world is shut out. Noise also makes you reactive instead of proactive. It makes you respond to everything instead of working on what matters most. But quiet allows you to set the agenda for your life instead of letting others set it for you. The problem is, noise is addictive. It makes you feel busy, like you're doing something, even when you're not moving forward. That's why you have to be intentional about unplugging. Turn off the voices. Step away from the crowd. Let the quiet recharge you so you can make moves that actually matter. When you embrace quiet, you start noticing things you never saw before. The opportunities that were hiding in plain sight. The solutions that seemed impossible suddenly become clear, because when the mind is still, it works better. It processes more deeply. It makes smarter decisions. Quiet also teaches patience. You stop rushing every decision just to keep up with the noise around you. You start making moves at the right time instead of the fastest time. And in life, timing is everything. The truth is, quiet is not passive, it's preparation. The more focused you become, the more power your actions carry. Because when you do speak, when you do move, it's not random. It's intentional. And intentional actions change everything. Every minute you spend in focused silence is an investment in your future. While others are busy talking, arguing, or chasing every distraction, you're stacking wins in the background. And when it's time to step into the spotlight, you'll be ready in a way they never were. Noise will always be there. The choice is whether you let it control you or you rise above it. Choose quiet, choose focus, because when you see clearly, you can move powerfully. And when you move powerfully, nothing can stop you. Your results speak louder in life. You can talk all day about what you're going to do, but at the end of it, words don't put food on the table. Words don't build empires. Words don't change your bank account. Results do. And when your results are undeniable, you don't have to convince anybody of anything. They'll see it for themselves. The problem is, too many people try to win arguments with their mouth instead of their grind. They'll explain, defend, and justify, but never deliver. Meanwhile, the ones who actually win in life are the ones too busy working to explain themselves. They let their results make the speech. Results are powerful because they shut down doubt instantly. You can tell someone you're great, and they'll shrug. But if you show them you're great, if you put the proof in front of them, there's nothing left to debate. That's the language everybody understands. Results, results also silence the critics. People can talk about you all they want, but if you keep stacking achievements, their words lose weight. They might not like you, but they'll have to respect the scoreboard. And the scoreboard doesn't lie. Every day you spend talking about your plans instead of working on them is a day you're giving someone else the chance to beat you. That's why silence combined with action is so deadly. While they're talking, you're moving. While they're gossiping, you're building. And by the time they realize it, you're already 10 steps ahead. Results inspire more than explanations ever could. You might inspire someone by telling your story, but you'll inspire them even more when they see the fruit of your labor. That's when they'll say, if they can do it, maybe I can too. Your success becomes a blueprint when you focus on results. You stop wasting energy on trying to change people's opinions. You realize opinions don't pay bills. Opinions don't open doors. Opinions don't put you in the room. Results do. That's where your energy should go, into doing, not defending. Even in moments of doubt, your own results will remind you who you are. When you look back at what you've achieved, you'll see proof that you can overcome challenges. Proof that you can start from nothing and build something real. That proof is fuel for the next move. One thing about results, they create their own momentum. Once you start winning, it gets harder to lose because the habits that got you here keep pushing you forward. And the more results you stack, the less you even feel the need to explain yourself. You just let your life talk for you. When you produce results, people will come to you instead of you chasing them. Opportunities will knock. Rooms you used to dream of will invite you in, and you didn't have to beg or brag. Your results did all the networking for you. There's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can deliver. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't need to be loud because the work speaks. It's not arrogance, it's proof. And proof doesn't have to yell to be heard. Results also outlast words. People forget what you say, but they remember what you do. They remember the business you built, the record you broke, the transformation you achieved. That's the legacy results leave behind. They live on even when you're not in the room. If you want to change your life, stop making promises to the world and start making promises to yourself. Then keep them. Let the world find out you're serious by watching your results unfold in real time. The bottom line is this: Words can inspire for a moment, but results inspire for a lifetime. So talk less, work more, and let your success be the only announcement you ever need to make. Silence confuses your critics. Critics feed on information. They survive on knowing your next move, your weaknesses, and your slip-ups. The moment they get something to work with, they twist it, amplify it, and use it against you. That's why silence is such a powerful weapon. It starves them. When they can't figure you out, they can't stop you. Most people think they have to respond to every rumor, every insult, every misunderstanding. But here's the truth. Every time you explain yourself to someone who's already decided to misunderstand you, you give them more energy than they deserve. Silence keeps you from wasting that energy. Your critics want you emotional. They want you reactive. They want you so busy defending yourself that you stop progressing. When you stay silent, you take that power away. They don't know if you're unbothered, if you're planning something bigger, or if you've already moved on. That mystery eats at them. Silence is unsettling to those who expect a fight. When they throw a jab and you don't swing back, it throws off their rhythm. They're expecting you to match their energy, and when you don't, they lose control of the situation. That's when the power shifts back to you. People will accuse you of all sorts of things when they can't understand your success. They'll guess, they'll gossip, they'll create stories. But if you don't confirm or deny, those stories eventually lose their impact. Without your reaction, the fire burns out on its own. Think of it like this. Your critics are trying to play chess with you. They're waiting for your move so they can counter it. But when you go silent, they're left staring at the board with no idea what's coming next. That uncertainty makes them hesitate. And hesitation is a weakness you can use to your advantage. Silence also keeps you from saying something in anger that you'll regret later. Words spoken in heat can't be taken back, but silence. Silence gives you time to think, time to plan, and time to respond. If you even choose to respond at all, sometimes the best clapback is to keep winning. Keep stacking achievements while they keep talking. Let your progress make them look foolish for doubting you. Eventually, the contrast between their words and your reality becomes too obvious for anyone to ignore. Your critics will often reveal themselves through their frustration with your silence. They'll start pushing harder, getting louder, trying to provoke you. That's when you know it's working. Because when someone is desperate for your reaction, they've already lost control of the situation. It's not about being passive, it's about being strategic. Silence isn't weakness, it's restraint. It's the understanding that you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Especially when you know that argument doesn't add any value to your life. Some people think they're exposing you, when really they're exposing themselves. Give them enough room, and they'll reveal their own character without you saying a word. That's the beauty of silence. It lets the truth come out naturally. Your peace is more valuable than your pride. It might feel good to win an argument in the moment, but it feels even better to win in life while ignoring the noise. Every moment you spend silent in the face of negativity is an investment in your focus, your growth, and your future. When you refuse to give your critics the reaction they want, you teach them they can't control you. That lesson will save you from a lifetime of unnecessary battles. Because once people see you can't be baited, they stop trying. Silence may not satisfy your ego, but it will protect your destiny. And at the end of the day, your destiny is worth more than a few moments of pride. Stay quiet, keep building, and let the results make all the noise for you. In silence, you hear more. Most people think listening is just about hearing words, but the truth is, the most important things you'll ever hear are unspoken. When you stay silent, you start to notice details others miss. The tone behind someone's words, the hesitation before they answer, the meaning they didn't say out loud. Silence sharpens your instincts in ways constant talking never could. When you're always speaking, You're too focused on what you're going to say next to truly understand what's happening around you. But when you hold back and just observe, the world opens up. You catch patterns, you sense motives, and you begin to see the truth hiding between the lines opportunities often whisper. They don't always show up with flashing lights and loud announcements. Sometimes they come in the form of a casual comment, a subtle shift in a conversation, or an unguarded moment. If you're too busy making noise, you'll miss them. Silence gives you the space to catch those whispers. You also learn more about people by letting them talk. Most people will reveal their intentions, their values, and even their plans if you simply give them the room to speak without interruption. Your silence becomes a mirror that reflects their true self right back at them. There's a reason powerful people are often quiet in a room. It's not because they have nothing to say. It's because they're gathering information. They're studying the energy, reading the room, and picking up on things others are too distracted to notice. You can't do that when you're the one filling the air with words in silence. You not only hear more about others, you hear more from yourself. Your inner voice gets louder when you're not drowning it out with noise. That voice is the compass that guides you, the one that knows the difference between what looks good and what's truly right for you. Sometimes God, the universe, or whatever you believe in is trying to send you guidance, but you're too busy talking, scrolling, or running to stop and listen. The answer you've been searching for might have been right there all along. You just needed enough stillness to hear it. Silence also makes you a better problem solver. When you stop reacting immediately and just sit with a situation, your mind has time to process it fully. You start to see solutions you wouldn't have considered if you had rushed to speak or act in conversations. Silence can be just as powerful as words. A well-timed pause can make someone reveal more, reconsider their stance, or reflect on what they just said. Silence isn't just the absence of sound. It's a tool you can use to create clarity. When you stay quiet, you're not just hearing more. You're controlling the flow of information. You decide what you give and what you keep. That control is a form of power most people overlook because they're too busy trying to be heard. Listening more than you speak also earns you respect. People remember the ones who truly listened to them, not the ones who were just waiting for their turn to talk. Your silence becomes a sign that you value their words, and that makes them value yours even more when you finally speak. In the long run, the people who hear the most see the furthest. They make better decisions, build stronger relationships, and avoid traps others fall into. And it all starts with the discipline to just be quiet and take it in. Every conversation, every meeting, every opportunity holds information you can use if you're paying attention. The smartest moves you'll ever make will often come from something you picked up while sitting back in silence. So train yourself to talk less and listen more. Let the world speak to you. Let people reveal themselves. Let opportunities whisper their way into your life. You'll be amazed at what you discover when you give silence a chance to do the talking. Stillness builds inner strength. Strength doesn't just come from lifting heavy weights or fighting battles. It comes from mastering yourself when there's nothing to do but wait. Stillness is where that kind of strength is built. In a world that tells you to keep moving, keep chasing, keep talking, it takes a different kind of courage to sit still and trust the process. When you're still, you face yourself. You face your fears, your doubts, and the parts of you you've been running from. That's not easy, but it's necessary. Because once you've made peace with yourself in the quiet, nothing on the outside can shake you the same way again. Stillness teaches patience. And patience is power. When you're patient, you're not desperate. You're not making moves just to fill the silence. You're making moves when they count. That ability to wait for the right moment is what separates those who win from those who burn out too soon. In stillness, you recharge. You can't pour into your dreams if you're running on empty. You can't lead others if you're constantly drained. Quiet time is where your mind, body, and spirit refill their energy, so you can step back into the fight stronger than before. Most people think stillness is weakness because they've confused motion with progress. But moving without direction is just running in circles. Stillness gives you the clarity to make sure every step you take actually leads somewhere. When you sit in stillness, you gain control over your emotions. You're no longer reacting to every little thing. You're no longer pulled by every wave. You become the anchor in your own life, steady even when the waters get rough. This kind of strength doesn't happen overnight. It comes from practice, choosing quiet over chaos, choosing reflection over reaction, choosing discipline over impulse. Every time you make that choice, you get stronger on the inside. Stillness also gives you perspective. When you step back from the noise and the rush, you start to see the bigger picture. You realize not every battle is worth fighting, not every door is worth knocking on, and not every opportunity is meant for you. Inner strength is built in the moments nobody sees. It's in the way you talk to yourself when you're alone. It's in the decisions you make when no one's watching. Stillness is the training ground for that unseen strength. The people who last in life aren't the ones who never get tired. They're the ones who know how to pause, rebuild, and come back stronger. Stillness is that pause. It's not quitting. It's preparing. When you learn to be still, you stop chasing validation from the world. You stop needing constant applause. You know who you are, and you're fine with waiting for the right time to show it. That confidence is unshakable because it's built from the inside out. Stillness makes you harder to break. When you've mastered the art of waiting, no delay can discourage you, no obstacle can overwhelm you. You understand that every season serves a purpose, even the slow ones. And here's the thing, stillness isn't doing nothing. It's doing the most important thing, aligning your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy so that when you do move, you move with power. That's real strength, so don't run from stillness. Embrace it, because the more comfortable you get in the quiet, the stronger you become for the storms ahead. And when the world sees your strength, they'll have no idea it was built in moments they never even noticed. Nature rewards the silent look at how the world works. Nature has been teaching this lesson since the beginning of time. Seeds grow in silence beneath the soil. Caterpillars transform into butterflies in the privacy of their cocoons. Even the stars are born quietly in the darkness of space before lighting up the sky. Nature moves in silence, and yet its results are breathtaking. When you understand that, you stop thinking you have to announce every move you make. You realize the most powerful changes happen away from the spotlight. Just like in nature, the process might be hidden, but the results will be impossible to ignore when the time comes. Nature doesn't rush. The seasons change when they're ready, not when you demand it. That's the same way your blessings work. You can't force them to arrive just because you're impatient. But if you stay committed and silent through the process, they'll show up right on time. The ocean doesn't shout to prove its depth. It just is. The mountains don't yell to prove their strength. They just stand. That's the kind of confidence silence builds. You don't have to prove yourself in the moment, because you know time will reveal everything. When you plant a seed, you don't keep digging it up to check on it. You water it, you let the sun do its job, and you wait. The same is true for your goals. You put in the work, you protect the process, and you trust that what you've planted will grow. Nature rewards patience, and silence is the language of patience. Every farmer knows the harvest comes after the season of waiting. Every gardener knows the bloom follows the time of hidden growth. Life works the same way for you. In silence, the roots grow deep. That's why trees can stand through storms. They've built their strength underground. Your quiet seasons are where your roots form, where your foundation becomes unshakable. People may not see your growth yet, But that doesn't mean it's not happening. Even nature knows that premature exposure can ruin what's growing. A fruit picked too early is bitter. A flower forced to bloom too soon will wilt. When you stay silent, you give your dreams the time they need to fully mature before the world sees them. The rewards of silence are sweeter because they're earned. You didn't waste time defending yourself to doubters or explaining yourself to people who didn't believe in you. You stayed focused, and now the results speak for themselves. Nature also teaches that everything has its season. There's a time to grow quietly, and there's a time to shine loudly. The key is knowing which season you're in and honoring it. When it's your season to be silent, embrace it fully, because that's where the magic happens behind the scenes. When you move like nature, you stop comparing your timeline to someone else's. You understand that just because their flower is blooming now doesn't mean yours isn't coming. Your season will arrive, and when it does, it will be right for you. Silence also attracts the right kind of attention. When you're not constantly making noise, people become curious. They wonder what you're building, what you're planning. And by the time they see it, it's too big for them to ignore or dismiss. Nature's way is slow, steady, and sure. It doesn't matter how long it takes, because the result is always worth it. When you live by that principle, you stop rushing and you start trusting. That's when the rewards show up naturally, without you having to force them. The truth is, silence is not emptiness, it's preparation. And just like nature prepares for every season, your silent seasons are getting you ready for your time to bloom. When that moment comes, it will feel effortless because you grew into it quietly, the way nature intended. When you really think about it, life isn't asking you to always have the loudest voice in the room. It's asking you to have the clearest vision in your heart. And clarity doesn't come from noise, it comes from stillness. The world will tell you to keep posting, keep talking, keep proving. But the truth is, your biggest breakthroughs won't need an announcement. They'll be obvious when they arrive. Silence doesn't mean you're doing nothing. It means you're building something worth revealing. It means you're letting your results, your growth, and your blessings speak when the time is right. It means you've learned the value of keeping certain things sacred until they're strong enough to stand on their own. Everything in life that lasts is built in seasons of quiet. The dream you're carrying right now, protect it. The growth you're going through, trust it. And the future you're walking toward, let it unfold naturally. Because the truth is, you don't have to fight for what's already yours. You just have to be ready for it. When it arrives one day, you'll look back and realize the silence you kept wasn't empty. It was the space where your foundation was laid, your character was built, and your blessings were prepared. And when you finally step into the light, people will think it happened overnight, but you'll know it happened in the quiet, and that's exactly how it was meant to be. So stay silent, stay steady, and keep moving with purpose. Everything meant for you will come, naturally, effortlessly, and in perfect timing. And when it does, you won't need to explain a thing, because the life you're living will be the loudest statement you could ever make.